We're going to take a look at some more time-saving features here in Word 2013. This time we're going to look at something called building blocks. There are a number of built-in document pieces you have at your disposal to help save time. And just as using a macro and recording steps to input content, the building blocks are there for you to use. And they're very smart as well, as you'll soon find out. We're going to work with this document called NO Home Recipes 2. The very first page is actually our customer letter, and then we get into some of the recipes. Now, building blocks can be found on the Insert tab. When we go to the Insert tab on the ribbon, you're going to notice a number of different building blocks to choose from, like cover pages, for example. Headers and footers. Even though we can double-click in the header or footer area of a page and create our own, there are some building blocks, built-in headers and footers. Page numbering as well. Text boxes are also considered building blocks. And quick parts, something we'll talk about a little bit later, are kind of custom building blocks. So let's start with a cover page. We need something at the beginning of this document. We'll click the cover page drop down where you're going to see a number of family names. I say that because when we go to headers and footers, we're going to see these same names, for example. And when we go to create a text box, we'll see these names. So it's actually a group of building blocks. In this case, we're looking at the cover pages and the family name below. So all we have to do is scroll down until we see one that we like and select it. As we scroll a little further down, I kind of like the one called WISP. Give it a click. And it's inserted right at the beginning of our document. Really didn't matter where your cursor was. The cover page automatically goes at the beginning. And you can see we have room here for a document title, a subtitle, even the date. So let's just click in the date, click the drop down. This is all part of the building block to save us time. And we'll choose a date. Next we'll go to the document title. Type in no obstacles. And then click in the document subtitle area and we'll just simply type in home recipes. Now what we see here as far as the coloring and the formatting of our cover page is based on the existing theme that we're using. If we want to change themes, we could do that by going to the Design tab, click the Themes drop down, and as we hover over these themes, you can see there are changes to our document. I'm going to go with this one called Organic and give it a click. All right, excellent. How about headers and footers now? As you can see from page 2 here and page 3, we don't actually have anything in the header or footer sections. We're not going to click there, though, to insert headers and footers. We're going to insert building blocks by going to the Insert tab. And now we'll go to the header and footer section and click the drop down. And you can see a number of different types, including blank, which is kind of like what we did by double-clicking in the header or footer section. And as we go down, look at the names of these. Aha, looks familiar, doesn't it? These are the family names we saw when inserting a cover page. So if we want our headers and footers to match, all we have to do is scroll a little further down till we see that WISP option. There it is, and we'll give it a click. And we now have our first page header. Notice it's taking the title, no obstacles, the author, and the date. And as we scroll down towards the footer, you can see, and the header on the next page, nothing showing up there. So let's close that up. Our document is getting a little bit bigger. We're building it with building blocks. And this time we'll go to the Insert tab and go to Footer. Guess what we're looking for? That's right, the name WISP at the very bottom of our list. And when we click that, you can see we now have our first page footer. And it's got the page number going on in there. So these are all options called building blocks that will keep our document looking professional and consistent so long as we keep the same family name. Now with the Design tab selected, we could choose not to have a different first page. And that way, they're all the same. You can see the header and footer is just simply blank using this particular option. Let's go to the header drop down and we'll choose WISP. There we have it back now. Instead of having a different first page, they're all going to look the same. And when we go to our footer and choose WISP as well, every page will have the same thing. And what you will never see when using building blocks like this is repeated information. Information that appears in the header will never appear in the footer, and vice versa. And that's because we're using the same group or family name. Also, the formatting will be consistent throughout your document. So if you change themes, it's going to change all of your building blocks if you select the same family name. Let's close our header and footer by clicking the Close button and return to our document. So that's a quick look at building blocks. Another option is something called Quick Parts. That's coming up next.